Hello everyone, and welcome to this video tutorial on how to use TradingView. Here at INSIDEFX, we don't really condone signals or anything like that, and we like to encourage people to do their own analysis. But it's a bit silly to expect people to be able to do their own analysis if they don't even know what they're doing in terms of drawing a chart. So that's what I'm going to take you through today. Now, TradingView is quite a big platform with many features on it, as you can see here from the home page alone. However, I'm just going to take you through the main parts and what you need to just do your analysis, really. So in your own time, feel free to explore the website in more detail, take a look at each one of these and where they lead you. Obviously, you have different users analysis that you can explore. You have different markets. Say, for example, if I were to type in here GBP USD, I could find the market here, and obviously you've got stocks, commodities, cryptocurrencies, indexes, etc. So in terms of currency pairs, go for the ones that say FXCM, click on that, and it will take you to the overview page for this currency pair. Now, as you can see, I'm already logged in, but if you are new to the website, if you don't have an account, there'll be an option to log in up here. It's very simple, guys. Just follow the instructions. You can log in with Twitter, Facebook, Yahoo. Very easy. So once you've found your pair, click on full featured chart here, and that will take you to something that looks a little bit like this. And if you've been following us, you will know that this is actually nothing like what our charts look like. And in my opinion, our charts look a lot better than this. So the main thing about your chart work and about your analysis is to get it looking appealing, to get it looking attractive for you. So if you're going to be placing trades off this, if you're going to be doing your analysis, looking at these charts time and time again, you want to like looking at them. You don't want charts that you come to and it's like a chore just to look at, to analyze. So you want your chart to be clean, clear, and to be honest, it's all a matter of opinion. I can't say to you, do this with your chart, do that with your chart, if that's not what you like. So I'm going to show you how to edit these things, and then obviously you just choose how you want your chart to look. So first and foremost, you right click on the screen and go down to settings. Here you can edit the color of your candlesticks. Say for example, I like mine to be a bit of a green, not too bright. Red. I put my borders in black just because it helps to display, it helps show and really highlight the open and close prices of each candle. And then again, wicks in black. And already for me, that is much clearer. So then, really, not much else you need there. Onto scales, not too much here. I will say countdown to bar close. If this isn't ticked, you may want to tick it, and all that does, or all that should do, is just give you a countdown down here to when the candlestick closes. Obviously, the reason you can't see that right now is because I'm on the daily time frame. Take down to the 4 hour. There you can see this candle closes in just under 5 minutes. So that's really helpful for those traders who are new to the markets maybe don't know when the candle's closing. Even for someone like myself, it's just helpful to have that there, just so I don't have to constantly look at a clock to see what time it is. I can just look on a chart and it tells me this candle's closing in 5 minutes, and we all know how significant candlestick closes can be. So onto background, and here you can fiddle with, as it says, the background. So I don't really like vertical and horizontal lines on mine. For some people it helps them to look back across the chart and see how price is responding at certain price levels, but personally that just clutters up my chart, and I like to plot these levels on myself. As you can see with the crosshair here, you can put the crosshair on any high and look across to see how that looks anyway. So those grid lines aren't necessarily aren't really necessary. Scales, put that a bit larger so we can see the prices. Watermark, again, take this off personally. And then we've got little things like symbol description here, as you can see up in the top left. Open, high, low, and close is what that stands for. So that gives you the open of the candle, high, low, and close of that particular session. Time zone sessions, make sure that says UTC, London. So your daily candle will be closing at 10 PM. Trading, you don't really need anything here. And then events. Right, as you can see, down here you have these little bubbles with the Great Britain flag and the US flag. So these represent economic events. So if you click on them, they'll tell you what economic events are coming up and when. So they can be very useful in your analysis and just knowing what's coming up, just being kind of one step ahead. Personally, I like to keep them off my chart because we're quite good at keeping up to date with the economic announcements anyway. But again, completely up to you. These volumes don't need left click, delete, and there's your plain chart. So have a play around with it, get it looking however you want. Yeah, you can have your bars orange and blue if you really wanted to, but just make sure you know what's happening on your own chart. So now into the actual nitty-gritty of it. So firstly, along the right side here we have this panel, and if you click on the top option, that's your watch list. So here I think you will have, when you first open a chart, you will have a generic watch list of a few pairs that Tradingview give you, but all you have to do if you want to add a pair in there is search for the pair up here. So for example, GBP, JPY, there you go, FXCM, click it and it'll go to the bottom of your watch list. Obviously then you can move that around to wherever you want, click it to view the chart. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick on GBP USD. And as you can see, whichever currency pair I click and go across to, the chart layout, all of those changes that I've made and formatted are still the same. And that's because it saves to the same chart layout. So as you can see, it says unnamed here. If you click on this button, you have the option to create a new chart layout. So for example, you may want a different chart layout for your cryptocurrencies and a different one for Forex. Some people just use the same. It's not completely necessary to have a million different chart layouts, but personal preference. So then obviously here you've got all your other options, whether you want to load a different chart layout, rename, etc. autosave, I keep that on. However, if you do make a change and it hasn't saved, just click this little cloud up here to save, or as it says there, Control S, and you want to see that little tick. Otherwise, the next time you log in, your changes might not be saved. So obviously, as you can see, there's various other things down here, but the most important thing over here is your watch list, and you can again hide that by clicking that top button up there. So now once you're on the currency pair that you want to do your analysis on, you have this top bar up here. So it tells you what currency pair you're on, and these are your time frames. So you've got monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 2 hour, and 1 hour. Pretty self-explanatory. On the free version, those will be your only options, I believe, as well as 30 minutes and smaller, which obviously if you click on this down arrow here, you can see they all drop down. But if you do decide to go for a paid subscription to TradingView, then you get more options in terms of making your own time frame. So as you can see, we've got 3 months here, we've got 8 hour. So it's just giving you a little bit more of an in-between time frame. Personally, for our liking, the gap between 4 hour and daily time frame is a little bit too much on certain occasions, especially when the market is quite choppy on the 4 hour time frame. It gives that little bit of extra clarity, but is by no means necessary. So I know many professional and profitable traders that still use the free version of TradingView, so you don't need to go out and spend money on this, guys. So then you've got this button here where you can toggle between a line graph and candles. For your analysis, I'd advise always using candles, as it gives you the most comprehensive view of the market. It gives you the most in-depth explanation of price action. Occasionally, you may want to use the line just to get rid of some of the noise in the market and just get an overall perspective on what the market is doing. Then you've got a few more things across the top here. I won't go into all of it, but indicators is, or maybe quite an important one. Certain traders love an indicator and they love using as many indicators as they can find, and you will find them all here. The indicators I've never even heard of around here. Absolutely all indicators you could ever want on a chart. The free version, I believe, is limited to 3 indicators, but for our purposes and the way we analyze the market, all you'll need is a couple of moving averages. So we put an exponential moving average and a simple moving average. Simple as that. Then you've also got the replay tool. This is very, very useful for backtesting, which I will go over in another video. You've got undo, redo. As always, you can just use the Control Z if you make a mistake. As I've mentioned previously, you've got the upload chart, and then this button here. If you do pay for your subscription, you can place multiple charts side by side, just so you can see a few charts at a time and don't have to be constantly scrolling through your watch list. Full screen option there, and a settings which we've just seen. So now I'm just going to quickly format the moving averages. So just much like the chart, much like your candlesticks, you just want these to be personal preference, something that you enjoy looking at, make them clear. And yeah, obviously we go into depth on how to draw moving averages and how to trade off moving averages in the INSIDEFX trading course. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to select 2 random periods and make mine blue and red. Nice and clean, clear. And any indicator that you do put on your chart will appear up here below this little tab. So you can quickly access them, see all the indicators that you've got. You can hide them with this button here. This is settings, and also delete these indicators. So finally, now onto drawing tools on the chart, actually drawing your analysis. So you've got all of these options down here, and each one of these has a little drop down menu. So for this first one is all of your lines. Horizontal line, it's quite an important one, allows you to just quickly snap a straight line across. Good for drawing support and resistance. It's what I will say here is we do have this magnet tool. So to assist you in drawing your lines, place the magnet tool on and it will automatically snap to the nearest high, low, open or close. So if I try to place it here, as you can see, it's just quickly snapped to that high. So that can be quite useful for drawing precise trend lines and horizontal lines of support and resistance. And when you do select a tool, this little tab will come up. From here you can quickly edit, change the colors, thickness, dotted or block line, as well as copy, lock. This can be quite useful for when you're moving around your charts, so your trading tools aren't moving all over the place. Just lock your tools in place. And you can also hide these. Now when you hide a tool, you might be a bit worried, say if you do it by accident. Not to worry. If you go down here to the bottom left, you've got your objects tree. On your objects tree, you'll see everything that you've placed on your chart, whether it's hidden or not. And from here, you can quickly unhide, unlock, delete, and also go into settings. So the full settings on these, again, allow you to do all of the things you can quickly just from that smaller tab. But you can also, for example, add text here and pinpoint the exact coordinates, make it visible on different time frames. You may want certain lines to be visible on the larger time frames and not the smaller, for example, or vice versa. And you can also add alerts to this line. So for example, once price crosses over that line, you'll be sent an alert to tell you that's happening. So then you also have trend lines, pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. We go through how to draw all of these things in the course, and if you follow our analysis, you'll have a pretty good idea anyway. Horizontal ray, arrow, and parallel channel. So that helps when price is clearly in a channel, say for example something like this. Instead of drawing 2 trend lines, you can quickly and easily just plot a channel onto your chart. So then we've got this pitchfork tool. We don't really use any of this in our analysis. It's really not necessary. You can feel free to have a play around with it yourself, guys. However, all you'll need in this is Fibonacci retracement. If you click on draw out, again, go into settings by double clicking or otherwise, and you can edit the colors, edit the levels of these, hide some levels, display more levels, and just change almost anything about it so your charts look like your charts and how you want them to. Obviously you can also play around with different options, having the prices displayed, having them as percentages or as decimals, extending the lines, however you want them, guys. It's up to you. But again, I'm not going to go into depth on how to draw these and what levels to have and how to trade with them, as that content is all within our course. So then you've got this paintbrush where you've got shapes. Rectangles can be good for drawing out a range. Double click to edit, as always. And then obviously you've also got your ellipse, which you can use to highlight lows, highlight highs in different areas of the chart. Other than that, don't really use much else within this. If you wanted to paint a picture on your chart for whatever reason, I don't know, but you've also got a brush here. Nice pretty picture. There we go. Now onto text. You've got various different text options. If you click on that, place it there, and you can mark out whatever you want. If you wanted to put a significant high, I'll just put sig high for now, just to remind yourself of that. Then these patterns we don't use. Say for example you've got a head and shoulders pattern there. Once you've spotted them, you can quite easily mark them out yourselves. There's not always a need to use these, but if you choose to, that's up to you. They are here for you to use. Then we've got quite an important one, placing your positions on the chart. So if you're eyeing up a position, say for example you may have had horizontal line as I did around this region here, and you might have been expecting price to come up to this level, and even if you don't have an account with a broker, you don't have even a demo account, which I would advise getting, then you can essentially use your Tradingview as if you would have placed a position. So you can take a short position, say, yeah, I would put my entry, let's get rid of this magnet tool, I would place my entry on that level, I put my stop here, profit down here, go into all detail about how to place stops and profit levels in the course. Obviously our daily analysis pretty much gives you these levels anyway, but then make sure obviously you don't lie to yourself and say, yeah, I would have taken that and I would have hit profit, because as we say, it is just lying to yourself. Put it in front of where the market is, and then you may even want to hide it, come back at a later date, bring that back and say, oh yeah, it came through, I was right. So you can use this as a bit of a trading log, or just to mark out positions, so next time you come onto your chart you know what your bias was previously. So then you've also got price range, date range, etc. Arrows and a whole host of other shapes for you to play around with. If you want a lemon on your chart, then feel free to lemon away. Yeah, personally I leave the lemons out of my chart. Other than that, that's pretty much it. You've got to lock all drawing tools. which locks all of the drawing tools on your chart. Hide all drawing tools, which can be useful for if you've got lots and lots of analysis, if you've got lots of tools on your chart at one time, then sometimes when you first look at your chart, it can be quite difficult to see what's going on. It can look quite cluttered. So getting back to basics, you may want to just click that button, hide all drawing tools, and just see the raw chart and essentially form your opinion all over again. Then finally, remove all drawing tools. If you decide your analysis isn't how you want it, nothing's right, to save you going through and deleting everything individually, then remove all drawing tools. I mean, many traders will probably agree that they've been in the position where a trade has not gone to a trade has not gone in line with their analysis, and they may have lost money, or they've got frustrated with the markets, come onto their charts and just deleted all of their analysis, thinking, right, I'm going to start all over again. It was my analysis that was wrong. And if you want to do that, then that's fine. It's all about refining, and getting it perfect. Well, I say perfect. No one's analysis is ever going to be perfect, but we can get damn close. So that is pretty much it. You've got these tabs along the bottom, which personally I don't think you really need. For me, they zoom out a little bit too much, but they can give you a good overview of what's happening in the market in a certain time frame. So in terms of scaling, this auto button is an absolute godsend, to be honest. You can click auto and it just gives you the full perspective. It scales as you zoom in and out, which you can do by scrolling on your mouse or dragging this bottom bar. Soon as you start playing with this sidebar, then auto switches off, and as you zoom in, it just scales sideways. However, this allows you to zoom into specific parts of the market, just like this. So, hope you all understand that, guys. Hope that gives you everything you need to go ahead and start drawing charts for yourself. By all means, go and have a little play around with Tradingview, explore all the different options, and just have some fun, go wild on the charts. It is worth saying that some people do choose to do their analysis on the MetaTrader platform, MT4, MT5, which is obviously where they're also executing their trades. However, this can be slightly more difficult to use. It's not as user-friendly as the Tradingview, and I don't believe it has as many options. So, especially if you're just getting started out, then definitely I would advise going for Tradingview platform. So if you've got any more questions, let me know in the comments, or feel free to send us a message on social media, send us an email, and yeah, happy trading.